what God called me to do, I had to tell my family what I was thinking. I asked if they would all meet me at the church one morning. You talk about being uncomfortable, way out of what I was used to. I called this big family meeting the first time in my life. I was so nervous, wondering what everyone was going to think, how it was going to turn out. But when you make a move, God will make a move. I told them how I felt, like God wanted me to pastor the church, and I didn't know how it was going to work out, or even if it was right, but that's what I believed in my heart. I waited for all this conflict, all this debate. I'm sure some others felt the same way, that they were supposed to become the pastor. After all, they had more credentials. All I had was my high school diploma, 1 year of college, and my good looks. That was debatable. After my big speech, the whole room went silent. Finally, my sister Lisa spoke up and said, "Joel, if you feel that way, we're all going to support you." The next person said the same thing, and again and again. I thought, you mean there's not going to be this big debate, all this tension, strife, discord? When you step into your calling, God will make your crooked places straight. He'll cause people to be for you that could be against you. He'll prepare their hearts. He'll fight your battles. That meeting ended with my mother saying, "Joel, I can't believe it's going to be you. You're the least likely one." I said, "Thank you, Mother, for your confidence." I walked out of there feeling about 2 feet tall. Friends, life is short. Time is flying by. You have to make this decision. Are you going to stay comfortable, or are you going to step into your calling? On the other side of that uncomfortableness are new levels, new relationships, businesses, compact centers. Are you letting fear hold you back? Fear of what might happen? I had played out in my mind over and over that family meeting, strife, discord, contention, arguing. None of that happened. Most of the negative things you think are going to happen are not going to happen. Why? God has already prepared the way. He's already lined up the right people. He's moving out the wrong people. He has the breaks you need, the favor, the strength, the healing, the freedom. All He needs is for you to step into your calling. Don't let fear hold you back. Fear of what people are going to think. What are they going to say? What if they're not for me? If they're not for you, then you don't need them. Your destiny is not dependent on everyone being for you. God has already lined up the people you need that will be there to support you. People that will help you accomplish your dreams. Now, if a person or a group of people could stop your destiny, they would be more powerful than God. Quit worrying about what they might say. They may not be for me. They may try to discredit me. They cannot stand against our God. Him being for you is more than the world being against you. We all have these times like I had. They are destiny moments. That opportunity is not going to pass by again. And if you let fear keep you in your comfort zone, people didn't stop you. You stopped yourself. I'm asking you to choose your calling over your comfort. Every time God has taken me to a new level, every time I've seen favor in greater ways, one common thing has happened. I was uncomfortable. I had to do something I didn't like. I had to stretch. I had to walk down a path that wasn't familiar. There was a lady in the scripture named Rahab. She lived in the city of Jericho. She didn't have a good reputation. She was a prostitute. People looked down on her, didn't give her the time of day, thought, why would she live like that? But God never writes anyone off. The scripture says His calling on your life is irrevocable. That means God has already given you an assignment. He's already called you, and He's not going to change His mind. You may make mistakes, get off course, do things you know you shouldn't, but that doesn't change the call. God still has a destiny for you to fulfill. His mercy is bigger than any mistake that you've made. Joshua and the Israelites were headed to the promised land. The city of Jericho stood in their path. Joshua sent 2 men in to spy out the land. They looked around all that day. At night, they needed a place to stay. Of all the places, they came to Rahab's house. She found out who they were, and something came alive on the inside. All of a sudden, she had this desire to help them. She told them how she believed in their God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She not only took them in, but she hid them. The next morning, the king of Jericho sent men to Rahab's house and said, "Bring those men out. They're spies." She said, "I'm sorry, they left last night out the city gates right before dusk. If you hurry, you can probably still catch them." Those men took off. The spies told her, "Because you protected us, when we attacked the city, we're not going to harm you or anyone in your house." Rahab's life was spared. None of this would have happened if she wasn't willing to take a risk. She had to decide, am I going to stay where it's comfortable, keep living in dysfunction, doing things I'm not proud of, or am I going to step into my calling? She had this boldness, this courage to do something out of the ordinary. She had to take a chance that the king would find out that she was hiding the spies. But deep down, she knew this was a destiny moment, a chance to do the right thing, to show God that she believed in Him. I'm sure thoughts told her, God's not going to have anything to do with you. Look at the life you've lived. Look at all the mistakes you've made. Somehow, Rahab tuned all that out and thought, God, I know you still have a purpose for me. I know I can still leave my mark. She took this risk and her whole world changed. Rahab ended up marrying a Jewish man. They had a son named Boaz. Boaz married Ruth. They had a son named Obed. Obed had a son named Jesse. Jesse had a son named David. That means Rahab, this former prostitute, is in the family line of Jesus Christ. Like Rahab, when you choose your calling over your comfort, you can affect generations to come. Who knows how not only your life will be impacted for the good, but because you chose to stretch when you felt like playing it safe, you chose to take the high road instead of compromising, you chose to leave the comfort of the addiction, the comfort of the dysfunction, and take steps to overcome, your family line will look back and see the blessing, the freedom, the abundance started with you. You saying yes to your calling. You being willing to be obedient, to do the right thing when it was hard, to forgive when you were wrong, to push past fear and step into your purpose. You were the difference maker. Is there some area God is asking you to